Well, tonight we have an exclusive interview with one of the 12 jurors who wasted no time declaring Mark Leonard guilty as charged. 6 men and 6 women needed only 3 hours to reach a verdict in a criminal trial that lasted more than 6 weeks.
Eyewitness News reporter Rich Van Wyk was there for every day of the trial. He's back tonight here in the studio with a close look at how jurors decided to make their decision. Rich?
The juror spoke with me on the condition we don't reveal his identity. I'll explain why in a minute. He says, though, the jury's decision was quick, but certainly not easy. 19 days in the jury box listening to the evidence. 3 hours deliberating in the jury room, finding Mark Leonard guilty on all 53 counts of murder, arson, and conspiracy.
We definitely didn't take any of it lightly, and we didn't just say, take a vote and go. We discussed every single one of them to make sure we weren't missing anything, to make sure we were making the right decision.
The most difficult debate among jurors, he said, was deciding whether the deaths of Jennifer and Dion Longworth were reckless homicide or the more serious crimes of knowing murder.
But it came down to something along the lines of, with common sense, knowing meant that there could be someone who could be killed.
Mark Leonard, the jury found, led the plot to destroy Maserati Shirley's home to cash in on a $300,000 insurance policy. Prosecutors presented 2,200 pieces of evidence and testimony from 170 witnesses.
It almost seemed like it should have been overwhelming, but it ended up being relatively easy.
What did they think of Maserati Shirley, turning on her ex-boyfriend and testifying against him?
I think she was important. It was great to see that side of the story, but I don't think it was critical. I think they probably could have still had the same outcome without her.
The outcome was a relief to victims of the Richmond Hill explosion.
One of the neighbors or parents of someone influenced by the explosion had thanked us as we were leaving, and it was kind of a surreal feeling to be thanked for essentially sending someone to prison for the rest of their life. So it was unusual, something that I had never felt before.
The juror tells me they simply followed the evidence, the law, the jury's instructions, and yes, their common sense. Jurors, he explained, are keeping a low profile. Remember, they heard evidence of how Mark Leonard, from his jail cell, tried to have a witness killed. They are now concerned for their own safety. At 6 o'clock, we'll hear about the impression Leonard left on them.